What's up YouTube? JSpartan98 here, and I'm going to do a contest response for Leftyndv10. He is doing a contest to show your top 10 cards that are not auto or game used, so very cool idea. I do not know Drew, but I've seen a lot of you guys doing videos and have thoroughly enjoyed it because as most of you guys know, I'm a big bass advocate and still like and appreciate bass, so I love the idea, so I had to get involved. Hopefully it's not too late. I don't care about the prizes, just wanted to get into support. So Drew, obviously look forward to getting to know you a little bit better, and so here we go. The first card is kind of the card that started it all for me. My dad had a box of cards that were just rubber banded and they're literally thrown in a shoebox, and it's kind of the prototypical thing that you hear about back in the day, but it was cards in a shoebox wrapped in rubber bands. But for some reason this card caught my eye, and it's been one of my favorite cards ever since. Don't really know why. Have collected this guy's bass throughout the years, and am just now starting to get into some of the memorabilia and some of the autographs. But he's a Hall of Famer from 1983 Don Russ, Eddie Murray. So like I said, I'm not really sure why that card, but I don't know, that one's been with me ever since. The next one, this goes back to my early collecting days when I was a kid. We all remember those cards that we had when we were kids. Of course, there was the Griffey Chase, there was the Kevin Moss craze or whatever, but I was into football, 91 Fleer, and being the big Iowa fan that I am, one of my favorite running backs as a kid was Nick Bell. And I love the fact that on these products, they put the players in their college uniforms, of course without decals on the helmets and whatnot, but 91 Fleer, Nick Bell was a beast of a running back for the Hawkeyes. And then on the back, of course, they've got the Raiders helmet. So that's number 2. This is kind of a combo here, but just going back to the childhood thing, we all knew this guy. We all knew Jordan. Unfortunately, back after college, I had some of these that were graded and had to end up selling them off, but we all love our Jordans, and these were 91 hoops, and this was, of course, I think these were, I'm sorry, 90 Fleer on this one, but yeah, so we all love our Jordan. That was number 3. Newer card here, just pulled this out of this year's Topps, but I'm not a huge music guy, but growing up, high school, one of my friends kind of got me on to Rage Against the Machine. I spoke about this in one of my other videos, and there's been many a drunken night where I've had a few beers with my buddies and we've sat down and just watched guitar tutorials, or we've watched old Rage concerts and things like that on YouTube. But dude's badass. Tom Morello. That one stays in the PC. Another childhood one. This was one of the cards to get. This one's actually banged up. Got this one at a garage sale, but another one of the cards that were symbols of our times. Us young ones. 89 Fleer Ken Griffey Jr. And I can remember back in college getting back into collecting a little bit, and I was buying boxes off of eBay. I think they were probably 18, 19 bucks, and then, paying the 6 or 7 bucks for shipping, but just tearing through boxes trying to find these rookie cards just so I could grade him, but busted a lot of this product and it was hella fun searching for the Griffies. So there's that one. Believe it or not, living in Iowa, I grew up an Atlanta Braves fan. And the reason being that me being 36 years old, we're at 5 minutes, me being 36 years old, even back in that day, there wasn't a whole lot of, you didn't have access to everything. And it just so happened that when I was a kid, TBS was huge. And so even in Iowa, you know, they didn't have regional stuff as much, but so little guy in Iowa, every night I'd get the Braves games on TBS, and they televised every one, home or away. And Sanford and Son would precede it. And then after Sanford and Son was over, it'd be right to the Braves telecast. So I was a huge Braves fan and absolutely loved Mr. Bob Horner. Loved this guy. This guy had a bat. And him and Murphy just tore it up. But love me some Bob Horner. And that is a 1979 Topps. Bob Horner. This one, not really much of a story, just, yeah, there's not really a story, but she's one of the most beautiful gals that's out there, and I pulled this from 2012, Allen and Ginter, and have held on to it ever since, just because, I mean, she seems pretty cool, down to earth, whatever, but I don't know, I've just had this one in my collection ever since I pulled it in 2012, and we'll continue to hold on to it. It's the mini and the regular of Miss Kate Upton. Yeah, buddy. So, and we're down to the last two. And then, these were ones growing up. Huge Iowa basketball fan, huge Iowa sports fan. I grew up, I watched every single game, videotaped most of them, and knew all the players, just was about as diehard as you can get. Still pretty much am that way today. And got this set of cards when I was young, and they've been with me ever since. I've taken great care of them. I've had them in the pro pages, or whatever you call them, the pocketed pages. And what's significant about this card is yesterday at the Iowa game, final game of the year, they just retired this guy's, they didn't retire his jersey, they honored him, and then he's going to go onto the Wall of Fame. But he was Iowa's all-time leading scorer, battling stage 4 cancer, and probably doesn't have much longer on this earth. Had a lot of problems out of college, got involved in some drugs and things like that after being drafted to the NBA. But Iowa's all-time leading scorer, always around Iowa athletics because his son played for us last year and now was on and off again with the Orlando Magic. But 87-88, sponsored by Nike. Hawkeyes card. Iowa's all-time leading scorer, Roy Devin Marble. Or not Devin, Roy Marble. Roy Devin was his son that played for us last year. So, love that card. And like I said, he's probably on borrowed time now. But and then just another card from that set. I've got the whole set in pages, but just he's one that probably people know more that aren't Iowa athletic fans. B.J. Armstrong had his little run with the Bulls. And then last but not least, this is the card that got me post-college back into collecting and has pretty much led me to where I am today. There was a little hiccup there right around the time when the kids were born, getting married, things like that. But this is what basically turned me onto the hobby again. after college and just being busy with all that stuff from when I was a child. And actually, this is part of that set. I'm going to do a completion video. I've got one more card to grab from this set, and then that will be complete. But it is 2002 Fleer Platinum. One of my favorite sets of all time. There's nothing special about it. I'm not sure if it's a widely collected or a widely popular set, but for me, this one has meant so much because it got me back into collecting. Published an article in Beckett on this particular set, and just happens to be Mr. Bonds. So, very cool. 2002 Fleer Platinum Barry Bonds. So that's all. Hope you guys enjoyed the stories. I know everyone's got stories behind cards, and that's the first time I've really gotten to talk about some little stories behind my collection. And Drew, great idea. Glad I can support you. Hope you enjoyed. Everyone have a great week coming up. It's Sunday, and peace.